Alright, let's talk about getting your hands dirty. Some folks might wonder why you'd bother growing your own food, especially something like okra. Maybe you've only had it slimy in a stew, or maybe you've never had it at all. But trust me on this one, growing your own okra is a rewarding job. It's a chance to connect with the earth. It's a chance to see something grow from a tiny seed to a productive plant. And there's a real satisfaction in eating something you nurtured yourself. It just tastes better, plain and simple. Plus, you know exactly what went into it, or more importantly, what didn't. Now, why okra? Well, it's a pretty tough plant. It likes the heat, which is good news for many of us. It's not overly fussy once you get it started right. This makes it a decent choice for beginner gardeners. You don't need a degree in horticulture to get a good crop. You just need a little know-how and a willingness to put in some effort. This guide is here to give you that know-how. We're going to break it down step by step. No fancy jargon, just straight talk about how to get those pods growing strong. First things first, you need to pick your okra. Not all okra is created equal, you see. There are different varieties out there, and some might do better in your neck of the woods than others. Think of it like choosing a work buddy. You want one that's reliable and suited for the job at hand. Taking a little time to choose the right variety can make a big difference in your harvest. So let's look at a few popular choices that are known to be good performers. One of the most common and dependable varieties is Clemson Spineless. This one's a real workhorse. It's called spineless because the pods don't have those little prickly spines that some older varieties do. That makes harvesting a whole lot more comfortable, believe me. Clemson Spineless produces plenty of dark green pods. It's also pretty resistant to some common plant diseases. For a beginner, this is often a top recommendation, and for good reason. It's a solid, no-fuss option that consistently delivers. Do a little research on what grows well in your specific climate. Alright, you've picked your okra variety. Now, where are you going to plant it? Okra isn't too picky, but it does love good soil. And good soil isn't just any dirt you dig up, it needs to have the right stuff in it to help those plants thrive. Think of it like building a house. You need a solid foundation, right? Same thing for your okra. Good soil preparation is the foundation for a healthy, productive plant. If you skimp on this step, you'll be fighting an uphill battle later. The first thing okra insists on is well-drained soil. It hates having wet feet. That means if water sits around the roots for too long, the plant will suffer. The roots can rot, and that's bad news. How do you know if your soil drains well? Dig a hole about a foot deep and fill it with water. If it drains away within a few hours, you're probably in good shape. If it takes all day or longer, you've got some work to do. You might need to add things like compost or coarse sand to improve the structure and let that water move through. Raised beds can also be a great solution for drainage problems.
Know you've been a good friend.
So, your soil is prepped and ready. It's looking good, feeling good. Now it's time for the main event, getting those okra seeds into the ground. But hold on a second, don't just rush out there and start tossing seeds around. Timing is important, especially with a warm weather lover like okra. Okra seeds won't do much if the soil is cold. They'll just sit there, or worse, they might rot. You need to wait until the soil has warmed up to at least 65 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 18 degrees Celsius. Ideally, aim for even warmer, around 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, or 21 to 24 Celsius. This usually means planting a couple of weeks after your last expected frost. Once the soil is warm enough, it's time to plant. Okra seeds are a decent size, so they're pretty easy to handle. You'll want to plant them about 1 inch deep. Any shallower, and they might dry out or get eaten by birds. Any deeper and the seedlings might struggle to reach the surface. Space the seeds about 4 to 6 inches apart in rows. If you're planting multiple rows, give them about 3 feet of space between rows. Section 5, okra in a pot? You bet. Container gardening tips. Now what if you don't have a big backyard? What if you're working with a sunny patio, a balcony, or even just a doorstep? Can you still grow okra? You absolutely can. Okra does surprisingly well in containers as long as you give it what it needs. So, don't let a lack of garden space stop you from enjoying homegrown okra. Container gardening has its own set of rules, but it's definitely doable. It's all about choosing the right pot and the right soil, and then giving it a bit of attention. Many folks find it's a great way to get started with growing their own food. The most important thing for container okra is the size of the pot. Okra plants have a pretty vigorous root system. They need room to spread out and anchor themselves. You'll want a container that is at least 12 inches deep, and preferably 12 inches wide too. Bigger is generally better. A 5-gallon bucket with drainage holes drilled in the bottom can work great. Or you can find nice terracotta or plastic pots at the garden center. Just make sure whatever you choose is large enough to support a mature okra plant, which can get pretty tall depending on the variety. Section 6. Keeping them hydrated and fed, watering and fertilizing. Your okra is in the ground or in its pot and it's starting to grow. Good job so far. But the work isn't over. Now you need to keep those plants happy. And two of the biggest things for happy plants are water and food. Just like us, plants need regular hydration and nutrition to grow strong and produce well. Get the watering and fertilizing right, and you'll be well on your way to a great okra harvest. Okra plants, especially when they're young and when they're producing pods, need consistent moisture. They generally need about an inch of water per week, either from rain or from your hose. During hot, dry spells, you might need to water more often. The best way to tell if your okra needs water is to check the soil. Stick your finger about an inch or two deep. If the soil feels dry at that depth, it's time to water. Try to water deeply at the base of the plant. Section 7. Battling the baddies. Okra pest management. So your okra plants are growing well. They're getting water, they're getting food, they're soaking up the sun. Life is good. But then, you might notice some uninvited guests showing up. Pests. It's a fact of life in the garden. There are critters out there that find your okra just as appealing as you do. Don't panic. Dealing with pests is part of the job. The key is to keep an eye on things and act early. And thankfully, there are plenty of ways to manage these little troublemakers without resorting to harsh chemicals. We want to eat this stuff after all. Some of the common culprits you might find on your okra include aphids, whiteflies, and spider mites. Aphids are small, pear-shaped insects that often cluster on new growth and the undersides of leaves. They suck the sap out of the plant. Whiteflies are tiny, white, moth-like insects that fly up in a cloud when you disturb the plant. They also suck sap. Spider mites are very tiny, almost invisible, but you might see their fine webbing on the leaves. They cause stippling or yellowing of the leaves. Keep a close watch for these guys. Section 8. The glorious harvest. Picking your pods. This is the moment you've been waiting for. After all that soil prep, planting, watering, and watching, it's time for the payoff. Harvesting your okra. There's nothing quite like picking fresh vegetables from your own garden. And fresh okra, picked at its peak, is a real treat. It's tender, flavorful, and a world away from those tough, woody pods you sometimes find at the store. But knowing exactly when and how to harvest is key to getting the best quality. Pick too early and they're tiny. Pick too late and you'll need a chainsaw to cut them. So when is okra ready to pick? The ideal size for most varieties is when the pods are about 2 to 4 inches long. This is when they are at their most tender. Some varieties might be a bit longer, but generally, smaller is better. Okra pods grow incredibly fast, especially in hot weather. One day a pod might be tiny and the next day it's perfect. A day or two after that, it can be too big and woody. So you need to check your plants every day or at least every other day once they start producing. Section 9. More than just slime. The rewards and a final nudge. Well, there you have it. From a tiny seed to a plate full of fresh okra. We've walked through the whole process. We talked about choosing the right variety for your patch of dirt. We got our hands dirty preparing the soil, making it a welcoming home for those seeds. We learned how to plant them, whether in a big garden or a simple pot on the porch. We covered the essentials of watering and feeding, keeping those plants thriving. We even faced down some of the common garden pests that might try to crash the party. And finally, we reached the best part, harvesting those tender, tasty pods. Now, some folks hear okra and they think slime. And yeah, okra can get a bit mucilaginous, especially if you cook it certain ways. But that same quality is what makes it a great thickener for gumbos and stews. And if you cook it right, maybe fried, roasted, or grilled, it's not slimy at all. It's delicious. Plus, okra is packed with good stuff. It's a good source of vitamin C and K, folate, and fiber. So, not only does it taste good when you grow it yourself, but it's also good for you.